Sean Bester.
Yeah.
Just a smidgen under 1.3 litres of that Sean Bester Morris Mini in British Racing Green.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
very eclectic being in its green.
Morris is out on the circuit. There is Trevor Momberg in his trusty blue Capri. I saw the Cortina of Jan Engelbrecht going out onto the circuit, going through turn 1 right now.
Lovely to see all these cars from yesteryear. And yeah, I have to admit that the camaraderie in the classics is something to behold between those guys. No matter what you drive, if something goes wrong, everyone jumps into the basket and helps out. That's really nice to see.
Turbocharged 2002 BMW there of Matthew Rowe has just spun it on the sighting lap. But we'll get it going again. No harm, no foul. And he's joined by the other Rowe family member in the 325 IS Beamer. And of course that is Robert Rowe in that boxy-shaped machine making his way through the kink right now. Like I said, only 14 of them set to be out there. We've lost 2 of the escorts of Wayne Laude and Davy de Beer. But we could have ourselves an interesting little race. We were mentioning our premier front-wheel drive competitors, Trevor and Lane Hutchings in their VWs. But no Bruce Avon Taplin, unfortunately. No Dion Conradi in the Toyotas. Those would have also been no Dion Valentine in his Mini. Wayne Laude crashed it yesterday. But poleman Franco Donadio is alongside Michael Hitchcock. We did not see, did we see Aiton Bogart go out there? The Granada Piranha, number 66. I did not catch a glimpse of that car, did I? Or is he coming right down here now?
Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah, Malcolm Bogart is out there. Jared Evans in the Capri is there.
Oh, the rain is coming down again, Francois. Here comes Fadi Mouton's bright red Mustang. We like the bright cars because we can see them when it rains.
Yeah.
There's Jared Evans with the lights on, the headlamps.
That is absolutely a beautiful Capri there, to say the least. Another Richard Quixley build.
V6s, those Capris. Beautiful sounding, the Mustangs as well, the V8s.
Yeah, the 67 coupes are one of the nicest, I reckon, Mustangs ever built, except for the Eleanor, the fastback.
Mark and Malcolm, Aiton Bogart not out today. Yeah, they're on the group, they said out, but we have the Mini pulling into position, Shawnee Bester. Ahead of him will be Matthew Rowe. All right, so yeah, Glenn Aiton Bogart in his Granada Piranha, but no Galaxy, no Fairmont, sorry. And it's the 6-lap reminder on the chalkboard, taking us back to our school days. And the green flag waves as they are being led off. John Green waving his flag vigorously in the wind. To be taken now. They're going to work very hard over here to generate the tire temperatures, to generate the brake temperatures. When they get into that first turn, they just dab on that brake pedal, braking very early. No heroics here, Francois.
I think the thing one to look at is, what is your brake bias like when you come in the wet? You know, if it's too much on the front will lock up, the back will come around. If it's too much on the back, it'll lock up and force the... So it's really something special. All these little sort of nitty-gritties one has to behold before you go racing, and depending on the weather conditions, you know what I'm saying?
Something that's very underestimated as well, Francois, is tire pressures.
Oh, yes.
What happens is they will most likely just lower the tire pressures to get the heat, just to circulate less air in the tire, much more molecules getting heated up, instead of maybe pumping them up as they do.
Well, what we normally do is when it's warm, we'd let the tire pressure down because the tire gets hard. When you come into the cold, you'll want a harder tire if you've got tread to get more grip. So that is what you're looking at. So if they've got treads, like semi-slicks or something, you want it relatively hard so that you've got a bigger contact patch.
Yeah, it's not like in Formula One where the wet weather tyres are quite soft and you can actually pump them up quite nicely and get higher tyre pressures. I was talking to Trevor Hutchings once, And he said they were actually going to bring it down just a little bit, just so the tyre can be a bit softer and generate the heat. I remember feeling errands for you a number of months ago in the rain. I felt those tyres had just been out in the practice. They were cold.
No, they're very cold. They're very cold. Talking about Formula One at Spa this weekend, we talk about wets. Now, wets, funnily enough, I believe in Formula One they've got a regulation not allowed to be lower than a certain pressure. And I was actually stunned at what that regulation is. They're not allowed to be below 1.8 bar. So, you know, that's relatively hard for a tyre of that nature for a Formula One. And they're not allowed to be harder than 2.2 bar. So it's something to behold.
And they're very tight with those regulations.
Yes, very tight.
They have, of course, the wet weather tyre, the full wet and the intermediate. But we turn our attentions back to Killarney Racing now. Laude Classic cars for 6 racing laps. The lights are on. Leading them off is Donadio in the Forenza. And now we go towards turn 1. And let's see how we're going to all get 16 or 14 cars rather through that section. On the brakes they are. Into turn 1, it's Donadio from Hitchcock, from the Capri of Momberg. Look at the little gap, and then it's Fatty Maton in his Mustang ahead of Aiton Bogart in the Granada Piranha.
Well, Franco Donadio puts a bit of pedal to the metal. Trevor Momberg has a look there at Michael Hitchcock. Trevor Momberg, a boy from the deep south, as they call it. He's used to driving around in the wet. So he takes maximum opportunity. Ferdy Maton sits in P4. He's got Brian Evans looking up on the inside, and Brian nimbly up on the inside of Ferdy Maton. Jared Evans is chasing in the Capri, and it looks like he gets up on the inside of Glen Aiton Bogart there. So they're making their way down through Interceptor Corner. And I think the people that are more sort of accustomed to wet weather driving will have a sort of the upper hand here, and also having to maintain whatever power to weight ratio they have.
Down the straight we then run. The Forenza Can-Am of Donadio. Headlamps on like they all have. Goes down the straight. It is going to be Hitchcock that is under immense pressure from a man who's very experienced behind him. That is
Robert Rowe has a spin. Robert Rowe has a spin there. Coming out. We can see him through the window. He's on your screen as well. And Robert is beached. He's in a real big mud patch. I don't know if he'll be able to get out there. He's pretty stuck where he is.
That's like Play-Doh over
yeah,
there,
no, that's Play-Doh. That is mulch.
Unfortunate, he's got the rears stuck in there, and he probably won't even be able to turn. Oh, look at him. He's actually still trying it, though, to get out, but he might dig himself even more.
He's moving. Yeah, but it's going to get really stuck there. Right, so Franco Donadio came past us, squirming with the tires spinning. And he's working his way out. He's having fun that he can play with the power. They're down into turn number 1. There's
back to number 1.
Michael Hitchcock there with Trevor Momberg in the blue Capri up behind him. There's Brian Evans. Yeah, there we go. There's your leader, Franco Donadio. Here comes Michael Hitchcock. And Trevor Momberg is sitting nicely in the Capri. I think Trevor just taking the car, using what he's got. He's really trying hard.
One to look out for behind them after Brian Evans first. Sorry, just jumping in there.
There's Brian Evans.
Brian Evans in the escort, and then behind them is Fanny Maton and
Jared Evans. Yeah. And Jared's had a long layoff, and he's back having a stint in the Capri. But Jared's got a lot of experience. Good little driver.
He is indeed. They'll be coming through turn 3, and it looks like the BMW of Rowe is back on track, and that will be Robert Rowe's 3 Series Beamer. Trundling down the straight. Yes, he is a lap down, but he's back. That's the main thing.
Yeah, he's back. He can complete his race and just regain a little bit of composure, so to speak, and respectability that he has managed to bring the car back onto circuit. Now I see Michael Hitchcock pulling away from Trevor Momberg ever so slightly, using the muscle of the V8. Brian Evans in the little escort doing very well, sitting there behind Trevor Momberg. And Brian Evans is Class B, so Trevor Momberg lies second in class there, and Ferdy Maton third in class.
Well, I just also want to see now Franco Donadio, a 42.6, the fastest lap of the race. We still wait. Michael Hitchcock comes across the line then, and a 48.5. Trevor Momberg, a 47.9, quicker than the man ahead of him. Brian Evans crosses the line now. We watched that turn 1 still after they've made their way through. Here comes that battle between Fatty Maton and Jared Evans. Actually, Jared Evans is left Fadi Maton behind, and Fadi Maton is now under pressure from Lane Hutchings.
Well, we were saying front-wheel drive is the upper hand. I think Lane making actually full use of that.
And remember, Glenn Ayton Bogart is dropping down the field at the moment in 10th. Has he maybe not pulled off somewhere or gone back to the pits? We'll speak under correction there from my side, because Trevor Hutchings has made his way up into 8th position. Oh, there we go.
There's Glenn Ayton Bogart going down into, I think he's a little bit sketchy with the power underfoot. Having a look there at Sean Bester in the Mini, I would have expected him a little bit higher. Remember the day when Dion Valentine won the race in the rain and put everyone to shame? He was just having an absolute crowd pleaser. There's your leader, Franco Donadio, going down into Pertamina Fast Strong Corner, turn number 5. And he's really blown away from the pack. He's checked out. He's disappeared. There goes second one, Hitchcock. Still been under there by Momberg, and Brian Evans is getting a bit closer by the look of it, Byron.
And definitely also these men proving to have feet, right feet as light as feathers, because that's what you got to do here. You got to feather that throttle. You short shift. You got to restrict the power here. It's all about survival. They go across the line now. Look at this battle here between the Mustang and the Capri, an all-Ford battle as they make their way now down to the line. Franco Donadio, a 38.7. And look at the spray that's coming up now as they cross the line.
Down in turn 5, having a look now, we saw on screen. Lane Hutchings has got past Ferdy Maton, and so too has Trevor Hutchings, and they're now on the back of Jared Evans. There you see on screen, there's Jared, and there's Lane Hutchings with the Golf, and just behind Lane, ever so slightly, is Trevor Hutchings in the orange Sirocco. He'll be coming up. There you see him in picture now.
Yeah, that will be the top 8 then. Matthew Rowe will be the next man out there in the 2002 BMW, but that will be 4.5 seconds back as he comes across the line. Now had a small spin on the sighting lap, but yeah, they all go into that left-hand turn, the only true left-hand turn here at Killarney, and that is Jared Evans. That's right ahead now of the new man in that position. Behind him, Lane Hutchings.
Yeah, Lane ending well. Yeah, they come up towards us now, and still Jared Evans. Lane really making full use of the front-wheel drive there with Trevor right up there behind him now, working his way around. Lane ahead of Trevor. Trevor trying to come in there with a Sirocco, and they are pressing Jared Evans. Jared Evans really digging deep in his suitcase, all his experience there, driving a rear-wheel drive Capri in the wet, but he's feeling the pinch, no doubt.
No, he is, and yeah, they go. He's going to make his way through in turn 3 now is Lane Hutchings, and of course, remember, the more cylinders you have here, the more you sweat in that car, because what happens is you want as little power as possible. You don't want to jab the throttle and lose traction, and well, those two powerful cars going in the 2nd and 3rd places now as they come to complete what will be the lap 4 section and have 2 more left to go. Brian Evans closing up very nicely there, Francois.
Yeah, no, he's sitting on the back of Trevor Momberg. Momberg hanging onto the back there of Michael Hitchcock there on your screen going through. And we're going to go look back down there in turn number 5, Pertamina Fastron. There's, it looks like Trevor Hutchings has got past Lane. And they're ahead there of Jared Evans. So Trevor Hutchings, ex-Clubman's champion, now showing that he hasn't lost much of it.
2 8-valve machines, those VWs, front-wheel drive. And crossing the line now, it is Trevor Hutchings in 5th. 6th position is Lane Hutchings. And Jared Evans will be in 7th position now as they make their way into that Holes Hook section.
Coming down here now into turn number 1 will be Ferdy Maton. Ferdy Maton makes his way through there, and he's got Robert Rowe behind him as the lap down.
Car off in 5, Francois. Yellow flag was briefly waving there, but he's back on the circuit. Here comes Donadio in the little Chev, and it was Matthew Rowe making another excursion, off-track excursion, but he survived to fight another day.
Listening to Franco Donadio's Chev Can-Am come down here past us, how the thing starts spinning and you can hear the revs climb on the motor. But Franco Donadio managing it with years of oval circuit racing and tar racing. He's been in the wet, he's been in the dirt, he knows what's happening. But have a look at that dice. Look at Brian Evans trying to close up on the back there of Trevor Momberg. Trevor Momberg trying to close up on Michael Hitchcock as they come out at turn 5 down towards us. Keep an eye there. Trevor Momberg trying to take a different line. Michael Hitchcock lights up the back wheels on that 67 Mustang and gets the show on the road. But Brian Evans is right on the back there of Trevor Momberg as they go down to turn number 1. Will he have a look up on the inside? But it looks like Momberg's just late enough on the brakes.
Yellow flags will be waving in turn 2 there, Francois, because we had the Rowe BMW 2002, Matthew Rowe, spinning once again. Luckily, he's got it going again just as this second place battle makes its way to turn 2. Where is our leader?
We're on the final lap.
We are.
Right, so coming out of Pertamina fast on corner here now is, looks like Ferdy Maton. And not too far behind him is your current leader, Franco Donadio. He'll be coming out of the City of Cape Town Bridge. A checkered flag will be waiting for him. And Franco's had an absolute party out there with the Chevy Can-Am. Just listen to this thing come screaming over the line. And we'll wait for the next placed cars to come through. A couple of the slow markers coming through. The likes there of Glenn Ethan Beauregard, Sean Bester in the Mini. And second place man, there they go. Oh, look at that lovely dice going on the back straight there. Michael Hitchcock, Trevor Momberg and Brian Evans make their way down into turn number 5, Pertamina Fostron corner. And oh, what's it going to be? They look damn squib as they go through there. Take that right hander, Michael Hitchcock hanging on for dear life. He's got Momberg and Evans up behind them now. They make their way now out of turn number 5 on the gas. Has Brian Evans got the better of Momberg? No, he hasn't. So it's Michael Hitchcock comes up towards the line. He'll take second place there from Trevor Momberg and Brian Evans as they cross the line here down the Porsche straight down towards turn number 1.
Well, we still have a few cars on the live circuit, and it is Trevor Hutchings, Lane Hutchings, Jared Evans, Ferdy Maton that are all still racing out there and are coming now through that Pertamina Fastron corner. Here comes the 5th place man and the Class C victor, Trevor Hutchings in his VW Sirocco Mark 1. Crosses the line ahead then of Lane Hutchings in 6th position, 2nd in class. Jared Evans will finish 3rd in class in the Capri, and that will be in the 7th position overall. And then Ferdy Maton, I do not see him classified yet in the Mustang. Here he comes now, and that will be 8th position, but 4th in Class B as he comes out onto the straight underneath the City of Cape Town, Castro and Lime Property Management Bridge to complete his 6-lap race. And that was the first of the Laude Classic car races that has been run.